Live.
Yes, welcome back everybody to another episode of the Meathead Manual. I am one of your hosts, the meatiest meatball in the fucking world, Mr. Adam Garcia. With me as always is my good friend, my good buddy, my compadre, my compatriot, Mr. Andrew Harris. What's up?
Welcome in, everybody.
Now, before we get into this, I want to say that our guest today is the best, one of the greatest, the fucking man himself, dude. Oh my God, Mr. Keith Valeros, say what?
Hello. What is up, guys? It's your boy Keith. Thank you for having me. I'm really excited to be on here finally. Oh my God, how long has it been to plan this?
Geez, I think well, since we started this, we're gonna get Keith on here at least one.
I appreciate it. Well, I appreciate you guys having me.
So let's get into this, dude.
Yeah.
I want to ask you a fuck ton of questions, mainly because, again, you are pretty much, like I've said in almost every fucking time I've ever either been on a podcast or someone's asked me, whatever, you were the one who's actually helped me the most and got me started in coaching.
Oh, right? Man, so, thank you. I'm trying my best, bro. You're doing a good job.
Probably one of the best coaches here in San Diego, if not the best coach here in San Diego. I want to just start real quick, Keith. You started in 2017, correct?
Yeah, I started coaching around 2017, yes.
But you've been competing since 2015?
2015, yes, sir. Yeah, I've been powerlifting since 2015. Started coaching in 2017. I didn't get official with VSS until it was like 2021, but I've been coaching since 2017 all around. So.
Okay, so you started back when? Well, I mean, obviously, it just closed down, but you started in the one of the best gyms in San Diego, Ironmongers.
Yeah, that was it. And I think it was really cool.
What was your factor that got you into starting to coach? Was it kind of like someone started asking you for questions, like help, and then you were just like, all right, I think I got this, but what was the deciding factor?
The deciding factor in terms of like coaching in general was just helping people out, right? I think in 2017 when I moved here, I kind of had to make some friends for powerlifting and stuff like that, and then people started seeing, my strength, and then people just started coming up like, hey, how do I be like you? And I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. But then those 2 years of powerlifting back in Florida kind of put me the experience of, hey, I just want to help people. I just wanted to make people stronger, and it was really cool. During COVID time, so a few years later, I found out I got laid off by 24 Hour Fitness as a front desk dude, and no one was working. So I said, well, I have to boss up. So I asked Rick, hey man, let me come clean your gym. And then he put me on the official coaching team. It's almost like not even 6 months. And that's when I said, hey, I got to fucking make some money. So let's make some money. And now we're here. So that was pretty cool.
Well, I mean, your reputation is huge all over California. There are people all over the place that know you, all the way from coast to coast. Pretty much.
I mean, I think you go to just about every powerlifting meet there is around here. Like, there's a powerlifting meet, most likely Keith is there.
Exactly. And so, one of the things that I will have to say that I really like, I want to say I really admire, is when you show up to the meets, you are always bringing the energy.
Yeah.
Right? So how long have you been addicted to meth? So let's start there.
Dude, my name is Keith, and I've been addicted to meth for 28 years of my life. Remember, it starts in the womb? I'm just kidding. Imagine.
You got to have something because, no matter how long the meet goes, even at the end, you still have incredible energy, and you're still pumping up. You're the guy that makes most of these meets entertaining, because you do a lot of USA PL meets and they're not the most fun, but you seem to make it fun.
It's just something about passion. I think all three of us really, really love to be under the bar. We love being at the gym. It could be our happiness. It could be the source of our anger sometimes, but it could be always been a source of just happiness and excitement for me, to be underneath heavy weight while also seeing other people prevail. You know what I'm saying? And I think the coolest thing about energy and being that person at meets is about showing drive and effort, and I think I just love the atmosphere. I think that's just who I am as a person growing up. I'm always like elevating people's happiness, but I think when I see people push themselves, right, it's this isn't a quiet sport, like anything, like in this sport is not quiet. And I think that if we could just keep pushing the energy, just keep pushing the camaraderie of people, I think that just brings everyone together and puts powerlifting on that pedestal of like, hey, let's get excited, let's have fun, let's push each other. And I never faulted to being quiet. I never had that feeling of being quiet or I can be focused. Don't get me wrong. Like, okay, when it's time to focus, but always bring the energy, right? Always be the most excited one in the room, in my opinion, on how to bring other people up. And I don't know, I just get really excited about other people's success. Seeing my friends there, like you guys at the meets, fucking around, dicking around. But that's the point. I've never seen this as I have never seen this as like a something to be super serious about. There's times to be serious, but when it's time to be exciting, times to be extroverted, or just in terms of just like elevating people, it should always be 110%. And I just love being, I just love being, me. That's who I am, and who I surround
That
myself
makes
with.
total sense. So
Yeah.
I have a question because this is something I've been noticing, and for the listeners that know Keith and are following Keith, there is something that very interesting about something that you're actually picking up, and I wanted to dive into it and like your reasoning into why you decided to start going into more track and field, discus, and hold on,
Shot,
shot put, yeah,
shot, but yeah. I feel you. The factor to me and deciding just kind of just like using my strength for something else. I have some kids on I coach CSU and powerlifting for assistant coach with Kurt Navarro, and some of the kids on that team are like throwers. They like throwing, and I was like, man, I've always wanted to do a sport that required me to do outside sagittal plane, frontal plane. I really want to work on, hey, what if I could use my strength for something else? And I love watching the Olympics. I love watching strength sports, anything that pertains to like strength and power. I really want to dive into it. And I think shot put is a good transition to still being technical as fuck and also learning how to transfer force and power into an object, right? And I think that's really cool. So I did shot and discus. It's only my second week doing it. I'm not really too, I am not good at all. But I love the aspect of fucking like launching something, And I think for me, it was really cool to get into it with these kids, be a part of a community where, again, like, these kids are teaching me how to throw a fucking metal ball. And it feels athletic. It feels rewarding. It feels awesome. Because sometimes the instant gratification of powerlifting isn't there. We know that, right? That's what we have to instill on our clients. But, dude, something about yeeting a fucking ball is so freaking fun. And that's why I started getting into it. I pulled the rookie card, though. I bought $100 shoes and a new shot put from online. So, I bought the SBD belt before I even scored the 300 type shit.
I mean, when it comes down to it, it's definitely one of those things where instead of putting one toe in, we're definitely kind of the people that jump straight into the deep end when it comes to doing something that. So with that being said, also too, so I wanted to get into a little bit about your coaching, right? So I could probably throw a stone in STS or any gym, and I'm going to hit at least two people that are like, oh yeah, my coach is Keith Valeros. So that being said, when it comes to new client intake, and then once you get into that position of actually like starting to train someone new, be it whether it's just regular fitness or powerlifting, how long or what do you do as a way to kind of like mitigate those like small, I guess you could say, growing pains when working with someone new? Because I know for a lot of newer coaches or people that are starting to get into coaching, it takes a good like block or so to kind of really get a feel for the person. And what's something that you do as a way to kind of like mitigate that?
Obviously, as you guys know, there's levels to this shit, right? To education, to experience levels, right? But if we were talking about new, like novice lifter, where it's like, hey, my only background is like bodybuilding, or even, hey, I don't have a background in lifting. Where does it start? And I think a lot of stuff that we have to go through is just dogma, right? What is, for example, for programming, like it's okay to have a 5-3-1 program. It's okay with linear progression until they can't. It's okay to have progressive overload until they can't. Block periodization sometimes doesn't need to be done, right? We could just fucking keep putting 5% on or 3 pounds up every single week until they fail. Something, that's something on programming that I've noticed is the basic bare bones, right? We have the frequency that matters, right? Frequency matters a lot. The more they do something, the more they're going to get used to it. That's going to be the best thing, right? So my frequency level for novices are like 2-2-2, right? Squat, bench, and deadlift 2-2-2 times per week, where their secondary movements are like the easiest shit in the world, like pause squat, pause bench, long pause bench, pause deadlift, right? Something where it gets super specific, but it's going to be that secondary movement. Now, in terms of fundamentals in like movement, I definitely have to assess them. I would rather assess someone in person. If I do have a really big novice intake where it's or like a novice that's local, I'll definitely do some sessions or like I don't know. I could teach someone in 10 minutes, so I'm really excited about that. I could just be like, all right, fuck it, we're just do all 3 today, but like stuff like that. But if they're online, I definitely want to not do a call, but I'm going to be a little bit more involved, hands-on with like my videos. I'm going to take videos and be doing movements, what I'm looking for, sending them all the resources, right? My resources, YouTube resources, however, whatever. Obviously, I mean, I don't know about you guys. You guys teach novices like that. They don't do a lot of pre-education before they get into something. So you're the first contact of expertise that they have, and while that's a blessing to us, it's kind of like, dude, like, do your damn fucking homework. But if not, I'll give you the homework to do, right? So I would definitely give them like, okay, this is the history of powerlifting with some stuff. These are all the federations that you get into. These are the fundamentals I'm looking for, like midfoot pressure, depth, bench pause, leg drive, everything. So mitigation of novice lifters in terms of making it easier us as coaches is definitely the education portion. The programming, easy as fuck. Here's a 5x5, here's a 4x5 with all your lifts today or this week until you can't do it. Until you can't do it. But then when it just fail for me, at least for like 2 weeks straight, I'm like, fuck yeah, all right, cool. Now we can go into block periodization or auto-regulation. But when it comes down to like teaching novices in general, it's more of that pre-education factor that I love to do. Lately, and I've been doing a lot of content last year, not a lot this year, but I did that to kind of allow myself to just send a video and be like, hey, I need you to follow this shit real quick. Tell me what you learned, and then we'll go from there, right? And then now that's dogma, right? It becomes dogma and ingrained in their mind for the rest of their life. So,
really on that. And then, so, okay. Now, as time has gone on, now let's go into more of your, I want to say, advanced lifters. And when it comes to advanced lifters, I'm thinking about one that you and I are both really good friends with, who's a really good friend, but he can also be very, very, very particular and anxiety driven. And I want to see how you mitigate something like that. Okay. And I'm talking about none other than Chris Nicholas.
We love Chris Nicholas. Oh my God, he's a brother to us, all 3 of us, and I really love that guy. I love that guy. We've been really best friends for a while. Really strong and gifted lifter. One of the hardest workers I've seen. But with that being said, though, the expectations are put very highly on him by himself. And I think some of the stuff when it comes to mitigation of that, it's about how to be the voice in his ear when his voice is just too cluttered in his mind. And I think we do a really good job at that as coaches, but some people need extra help, especially when biases of like friends, for example, since we're all friends. Sometimes you want to tell them the friend thing, but me and him have not a code, was, hey, Coach Keith is out. I need to fucking let you know this, right? Friend Keith is out. That's the part. When it comes down to high elite lifters nowadays, in my opinion, Chris benches 500 pounds. A lot of the stuff is like, okay, wait, they actually know their body. It becomes a collaboration of coach and client. And this last meet that we did was really good. We didn't even peak for that 771 deadlift. We just kind of let him do heavy shit until we couldn't do it anymore. So what I like about Chris, and he told me this, right? And I had to listen because I'm his coach. Like, you always have to listen to your clients, in my opinion. Hey Keith, I just like heavy shit for a lot of reps. If I know I can hit it for a lot of reps with easy shit, or do a lot of reps with heavy shit, I know the next jump for a single will be super easy. I'm like, oh, that makes sense. And that's what happened. Dude, we haven't touched anything above 733 before that 771. You shit on
Yeah.
that, right? And I think with stuff like that, it's like really amazing. So listening to your clients is really a lot. Like, it becomes autonomous, right? He becomes really autonomous. He does really well with that. And then the mental aspect and anxiety, like we talked about, that's the hardest part, right? I like being the voice. Don't get me wrong. It's really good to kind of get in his head and the cues that he likes, right? But the thing is like, again, the community aspect's a little bit more important too. Chris talks to way more people than me about his training because that's who Chris is. But then that's why, the community of peers is really important. Like you, Andrew, in his head when we train together, right, at STS. And I think something that we have to do for him, and it's just learning how to be the voice, right? For any elite lifter, right, it's how to be the voice. They already have the skills necessary. They have the technique dialed in, right? Then it becomes being like a real athlete, right? The best athletes in the world, they don't question their technique. They don't question their skills. They become more infatuated with, okay, mental mindset and emotional regulation is super key, especially with Chris.
Yeah, emotional regulation and auto regulation of the body when getting into more heavier stuff is something that is huge when it comes to training people. But I want to give Chris really like his flowers when it comes to this, is that he's done two things that have really helped him the most. I think that's something that came from you talking so much shit to him, which is he cleaned up how he eats and he's lost some weight, so his leverages are just moving so well.
Like, how the fuck?
Right.
Just don't be a fat piece of shit, Chris. God, fuck, dude, don't be a fat piece of shit, Chris. Just kidding. But no, I mean, it just takes time for us, especially as friends, right? It's hard to listen to a friend as a coach until it's done, right? And that's the cool thing about our relationship, is that's the biggest thing. Like you said, sometimes you have to yell at them. Sometimes you'd be like, look, dude, not being fat. Like, I don't give a fuck. He's not even fat. He's fucking yoked. He's a D1 wrestler. Like, he knows what to do. He doesn't know. He's just sometimes you have to like really let him experience it, right? Especially any lifter. You could tell him anything. You'd lead a horse to water, right? But I will fucking drown that fucking horse, dude. I need you to fucking drink the water, bro. But what techniques do you guys implement on your clients that then they get in their head? Because I still need help with that.
Well, I'll take this one first. So when it comes to getting people out of their head, the first thing I do is I try and ground them first, because one thing's for certain is that like it's coming from a fear or it's coming from an anxiety point. So the first thing I try and do is kind of like, and at least, and I'm not talking about this from like learning from studies or anything. This is just because my wife is she has OCD and she's extremely prone to anxiety attacks and panic attacks. So I've gotten really good at learning how to ground someone and get them into a position where they're just like, okay, I'm fine. So when it was like, take for instance for Chris, he started to kind of freak out just a little bit in the back of the thing, and he was like, I can't exactly remember what, and I'm not gonna say freak out, but he was definitely getting in his head for a second. And I just remember pulling him aside, just being like, hey man, you've done this so many times. What's different? What's different about right now? And he was oh, okay, yeah. And then it's just one of those things where I'm like, hey man, push that shit to the side. Time to perform right now. It's now. And I've noticed that when it comes to people also too, just being like, it's first calm talking and then let's ramp up the aggression just a little bit. That usually gets people out of their head and back into the fight, as you can say. Also too, teaching Chris how to wipe his ass, because that's one thing I've noticed that he doesn't do often.
He does back the front. Who does? Just kidding. Who does that? It's gonna be your balls, man. I'm just kidding.
Quit that.
No, but you're not wrong. I think that's a really good way to kind of put it, because especially for Chris, if you know Chris, dude, it's like, or I mean, I wouldn't say Chris. Let's just go away from names, I guess. Neurotic lifters that are very, very. They expect so much on the littlest things that they start scaffolding slowly, right? Sometimes you just have to get a cue and scaffold built off of that, rather than just kind of putting everything into like mini steps. Well, before we get into it, I mean, yeah, Andrew, what do you do for your clients that kind of help them mentally prepare, emotionally prepare for it?
So for me, I like to take as much off their plate as possible. So I get them to like just focus on, all right, you just got to worry about the lift. I'll take care of the weight, whatever. Don't worry about that. You just got to go out there and lift it. And trust me, you know, I'm giving you something that you can do. Because I've had quite a few clients who have that, who have anxiety. Once the weight starts getting to a certain level, they like, you know, get in their head about everything, and then they can't follow the simple techniques. And then anytime I tell them, don't worry about the weight, I put the weight on the bar, go do your thing, and they're like, oh, that was pretty easy. And I was like, yeah, that was more than you've ever lifted before.
You have the fucking keys to do it,
yeah,
man. Open that fucking door.
Like this boss.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think that's the hardest part, especially during meets, like anything really, like tests, taking tests in school, taking, or, you know what I'm saying, like going for a job interview. A lot of this stuff is practice and repetitions, as you guys know. And I think it just sometimes mental preparation is really key. And I think Dave, as my coach, Dave Osborne from Osborne Performance Systems. Holy shit! Sorry, Dave. Don't fucking yell at me. But what he instilled in me was about some of the mental preparations, some of the stuff when it comes down to breathing right. You know, like I have horrible I hype myself up too much. I think just learning these skills and learning how to be the voice is really key. And like you said before, the hardest part of the fucking client is to just lift the damn weight. Like it's not just cool, man. Just put that shit on your back and fucking squat it. Like put that shit in your hands and bench it. And I think that's the coolest part of it. It's like you can't do anything different on meet day, right? That's the testing day.
Yeah.
That's where you can't do not new techniques, right? That's cliche. Everyone knows that. But you just gotta trust yourself and your strength, and you push it up. You will be okay. You know, that'll be it.
Yeah, exactly. And so, I mean, I wouldn't be. Let me re-fucking phrase that. I'm so sorry. What the fuck just happened? Sorry. I would say that the easiest time is when you have one of those clients that are just like, the moment that things start going, they switch on and it's time to fucking go. Mm-hmm. But you definitely know the kind of coach you are when you can think on the fly for a little bit of stuff, you know, in a sense that, I mean, we don't want this to ever happen, but we've definitely been in situations where you're working with a client and they're just not having a good day. And like it's like they go up, they fail their opener, and you're just like, what happened? What's going on? So it's like that one is a little bit harder when it comes to trying to ground them, because it's like now it's like not only it's like, okay, it's like one thing where it's like, okay, it's your third attempt and it's gonna be pretty heavy. I need to get you out of your head. But it's like another thing where it's like, hey, if you don't hit this, you're out of the meet. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And now, mind you, again, this is kind of going off of what you were talking about earlier, which is when you start getting a lot of these novice lifters, you kind of want to sit down with them a little bit and be like, hey man, so these are the rules. This is what you're looking for, right? And it's like the biggest one, I talked about this with Mario as well, and it's the biggest federation that I've seen that does that you have to be very particular and very, very like you have to scrutinize their form very hard, is the USPA, right? At least in the meets that I've seen, it's definitely one of those ones where it's like I feel like the judging get a little bit inconsistent. But like when it comes to like coaching someone going into like a meet where you know that they're like, okay, I could tell you didn't do your homework like at all. What's something that, I mean, I know both of us have also bombed out of a meet before. What's something that you do?
I just deck my camera like, yes, we've been there. But yeah.
What's something that you do to kind of like, since that happened, because I know for me, since that's happened, I have like pushed and prodded so hard until so like to make sure that no one ever gets to that point? What's something that you do to kind of just be like, okay, we're not having a good day. This is what we're gonna fucking do. This is how we're gonna handle this.
Yeah.
Be it technique wise or whatever.
I think we could dial back to just our experiences first. So we started, right? Andrew, if you've never bombed that before, good for you. God damn it. It's a really shitty feeling. And it really hurts more the ego and like kind of questions it more questions you as a coach too, right? Because like imagine bombing out and all your clients are like, wait, what the fuck? My coach bombed out? Like then it becomes like that big sway of like, oh, who am I? You know? And I think the hardest part, like, is to understand, like, how, like you said, how do I never let this happen to a client ever again? I think for me was learning, okay, and I was self-coach at the time too. I did my own self-coaching to that point, so that's on me. So it was a really big learning lesson, an experience lesson for me to my clients, right? Like, hey, if I could do it, anyone else can. Good things, but if bad things happen to me, holy shit, it's my fault. Now I understand what happens as a client, what happens as a coach. But yeah, just understand like the game, right? Understand what an opener means. What does an opener mean to everyone else, right? Okay, yes, the opener is easy, but you still failed it. Oh, how's your external factors? Did you do your homework? Did you pause your bench, right? Did you lock out your knees every single rep for a deadlift, right? Did you hit depth every time you hit squat? Like again, it's one of those things where it's like, okay, now you understand the whys of why we do stuff perfectly to the biggest and best standard, right? That you can do in training. Remember that meets our testing day, right? But you have to learn how to play the game, or hey, do the test. And I think the hardest now, like going forward, teaching my clients how to choose an opener, how to build up into a peak. There's many methods, right? Obviously, what I started doing is actually more percent based now on third attempts, where they're matching their highest 100%. So the highest lift that they did that day are in training, or probably 102 to 105% increase. So nothing too crazy, right? That's going to be like the range. So openers are going to be simple. It's going to be the same thing. Can you do it for a triple any day that you come in there? Or could we do like maybe around like 86% of that highest number that you want for third attempt, right? It really depends on their client. And then when it comes down to just like training in general, like how do we standardize you to let you be prepared for a meet? The hardest part of doing a meet, especially for novice lifters, are just like, what the fuck am I doing? You know what I'm saying? Like, what am I doing here? Tell me what to do, or okay, that's fine. And I think to mitigate these, what is it? To answer your question now, oh my God, when someone fucks up really hard in the beginning of a meet, right, or again, the first attempt, right, then we pivot. We have to be, all right, cool. Now this third attempt goal is probably not reachable, but what we can do is understand, can we still, right, get a really solid second attempt, right, and retake that opener if we need to. So now you instill that confidence once again. If it was like a really shitty fluke, or like the judges were being fucking dumb, I guess, then we could go up and wait on the second attempt, and we still get our goal. I had a client that fucked up their first attempt. I said, okay, fuck it, we're just gonna go up any 1 second, because it was like a technical fluke. It was like, oh shit, I kind of just didn't like lock out because I just felt really easy. I'm like, oh, all right, we'll go up, you know. Then they decided to shit on it, you know what I'm saying? Easier than their first, and then the third was easier than your second. There's just a lot of strategies to employ, but that again, that's someone that I know as a client. For novice lifters, like I said before, I'm not gonna let them do an RP 10 day. Like, there's no point. Like, you're still learning, and like, we're trying to build off these meets, right? If you have a PR, that'd be great. I mean, a 5 kg PR would be substantial for you. You know what I'm saying? But no expectations in the meet other than just getting a 9 for 9 or just building and scaffolding based off that to another meets. So, some strategies that I implore is just understanding, like, if they have a really bad mental day though, no, I need you to get your stick up your ass, dude, and fucking put in the work. Like, you didn't come all this way for all this training, wasting all that money on fucking coaching, wasting money on the meat fees, right? Just to come here and shit the bed, bro. Like, don't shit the bed. You know what to do. Like, you're here to fucking perform. And I think that's the hardest part with some people is like, this shit's easy, bro. Powerlifting's easy. We go up there and max out. It's not even a minute on the platform. Just go up there and do it. Like, people have to really put that mental mindset instead of like, oh man, I need to do good. I need to kill it. I'm like, no, yes, but again, understand, like, if you're a novice and you're fucking up, sometimes it's about just doing the work. Do what we put on the program, put on the temp selections, and you'll be fine. Lift the weight and you'll be okay. Get out of your fucking head, right? Just down and up. That's all it is.
Yeah, I gotta agree with you on that. Big part of it also too is that for clients out there, the best way to know that this way you're not going to get things like meet day technical issues or meet day whatever is also to just sending videos to your coach and making sure that you're, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's, I know for a fact that there are times where, because like that was something that I also was very, very impressed when it comes to you, is that like you have this whole WhatsApp thing, or this whole WhatsApp chat, I think, right? Yes.
Yeah, I use WhatsApp.
You'll send out video, or you send out things to your clients, and I mean, hell, you've even done like a critique of mine, which was super helpful, by the way, and it's like also too, like you'll also be like, where the fuck are your videos? That's something that's really needed. You know what I mean?
It's just, I would say embarrassing, but I think like, dude, you fucking pay me, dude. Like, get your money's worth. And two, it's like, I'm a coach. I'm not a personal trainer. I don't train people. I don't hold hands, dog. I can't coach what I can't see. Send me your fucking videos. Let's fucking get it going, right? It just makes me so mad, especially, you know, me, you, and all three of us. We put a lot of effort in this stuff. It's like, how do you not have the same passion? If you don't have the same passion, or even more than me, get out from my team. Like, that's all I'm saying. Like, just send me videos. But what were you saying, Andrew? Sorry.
Yeah, the training should already be setting the standard, and you shouldn't have any issues when you go to actual meet day. Like, if you're doing it right in training, meet day shouldn't be a problem as far as the technical stuff of like hitting depth, making sure you're holding long enough on the bench, you know, full lockout on the deadlift. If you're doing all those things in training, then you shouldn't have an issue meet day. And I think that's, a lot of coaches don't hold that standard, and that's why you see a lot of people who don't meet that standard come day of the meet, because their coaches didn't hold them to that standard.
And totally, and I think that's where we have to get back into what we're saying, like, novice coaches or coaches in general. We talked about this. We've seen it at many meets. Every local meet, there's some bumfuck coach or some bumfuck athlete that didn't do their homework. They didn't do the education. They didn't know about the rules. They don't understand about how to warm up properly. They don't get it because they didn't want to educate themselves. In a very easy sport, this is a very, the barrier of entry in this sport is super low, like very low, very low. I think all you need is a barbell and some weights.
Yeah.
And if you get it like barbells and weights, that's it, you know. But the biggest thing that I've noticed is just pre-education. Just educate yourself prior to going to a meet or to know the rules, and that's going to be the most important thing. Just educate. And when you do those videos and the coaches just say like, oh yeah, I have clients and stuff like that. Like, how's the quality of your work? What have you produced, and what can you show me in terms of powerlifting or sports that we're here in the same room, that we could be colleagues, you know? That's the biggest thing.
That's also another question I wanted to ask you, is that like, I mean, you've been around the game for a while now, so it's like, I mean, I've yet to interact with any coaches that I've always seen coaches to be very like, I don't know how else to say it, but just very nice and very, very professional. But I mean, obviously too, is that like, I mean, we've heard instances of like other coaches just being kind of fucking assholes. So in your time of being, I'm obviously not asking for names at all, but in your time that you've been like coaching and going to going to meets and stuff, have you ever had instances where you've shown up to a meet and been like, oh, okay, this coach is going to be an asshole?
Oh, sorry. Can you repeat that? Sorry, you cut off a little bit. My bad.
All right. So never mind. We're gonna move on. No, I was kidding. I was gonna ask, have you ever had instances where you've shown up to a meet and been like, and like had like I guess you could say more like in like issues or even confrontations with other coaches, and how are you able to go, like, you know, go through that?
Yeah, sorry, I think my internet's dog shit, but I'm just gonna say fuck it, whatever. I heard everything you said. I never had a confrontation per se, but well, I probably had one before, but it's more just like, dude, I'm fucking putting weight on, right? We're sharing a rack with some people, right? Obviously, that's how meets are. And it's cool to be part of the community where we load each other's weights, right? I'm gonna load your weight, you're gonna load my weight. And I see these fuck ass coaches that don't do anything for the sport. They just stand there while I'm handling their lifter. I've never met this person in my life, and you won't put in the weight, right? You won't grab the weight and put it on the bar for me. And it's like, dude, know the fucking culture, dude. And I've had many instances like that where I go to a local meet, even a nationals meet, bro. Like even like USPA nationals. They're like, hey, you're just gonna stand there? I'm putting weight for your fucking client, dude. I even said to their face, I was like, hey man, oh, you're on this rack? Cool, you're helping out. Put your shit on for your client. Put shit on for my client. I've had that before. I'm not afraid to do that because it's like, hey, like I didn't pay, or you didn't pay me to put on your fucking weight for your client, dude. So I want to say
Seriously.
confrontations, but like telling people straight up about how the culture works, right? I told you, come in here, do your damn thing, and make sure you understand, hey, if you're really going to come here back here, I need you to help out. And I think it's just education in general. No confrontations in terms of coach to coach like that or like yelling at each other. But it's more just like, dude, why do I have to babysit you as a coach or like your client? And I think that's the hardest part. Again, know the culture, know how the rotation works, know how everything works in the back, and it'll be smooth sailing from there.
I like that. So let's I want to switch gears just a little bit here, and I want to kind of ask you a little bit more about like your time competing as well, and as an athlete. What are your plans? What's going on with you? What's the next meet you're looking? Because we did have a little bit of a back issue, right? And now we were looking at alternats, correct? But then
Yes.
I think that, scheduling and shit, it didn't work out, correct?
Yes, that's correct. To answer your question,
So
I don't have any plans right
what's
now.
in store for you? What's in store for Keith Valeros?
I don't have any plans right now. I think the biggest thing, like I always like competing around like September to December because it gets ramped up with like the kids at CSSM and like all of my clients from like January to like the end of summer. I like competing around that time. And around that time, what is it called? Right now, I'm just trying to train really hard. My back is 100% now, or probably like 98% now, which is pretty sick. I don't have any plans until I want to hit around 2K for sure. Like if I could go back to squatting 8, if I could pull 8 again, I would be very happy to start competing. So that's going to be probably the biggest thing right now. Just getting back to the numbers that I like, you know. Definitely at the end of the year. Right now, my training macro cycle is going to be stiff bar deadlifts. I love my stiff bar right now. My stiff bar is really,
I'm sorry,
really
brother.
good.
You're cutting out a little bit. Sorry, can you?
I've been stiff bar deadlift. I think that's where we landed off. Stiff bar deadlift is probably the most important thing right now for my macro cycle. Just
Yeah.
going to be building upon that, and then just going back to the basics, fundamentals. I'm really strong, so I just have to do that at the beginning of the year, and just keep building until the end of the year. So a good reset is gonna be nice.
I feel you on that. So, but that's. I mean, that was one thing too. Is that like you've always been you always have been a very technical lifter, and as much as you've said I totally disagree. But as much as you've said you've been like, oh, my bench apart from your squat and deadlift suck. I don't believe that. You're a very, very technical lifter, and I think that some of the weights that you've handled. I mean, you're an 800-pound squatter, and that is something 0.001% of people will ever have on their back. You know, what's some of the things that you've noticed that as you come to like handling heavier load is something that you're like, okay, I really need to make sure that this is on point before I even start touching the barbell?
So all three of us understand it's that preparation, right? It's that night before, the week before, of learning how to have all your external factors as much as you can control. I think the hardest part that people forget about, like especially younger lifters, just like you're not Superman, dog. Like you're gonna get beat the fuck up. I'm almost pushing 30 now, so it's like, oh fuck, I'm getting old as shit, and I feel it every morning. I wake up, I'm like, oh god damn it. I know you guys are unks, so they call me unk now, dude. Anyway, but yeah, to prepare for a heavier weight, it's so funny because all these kids are like, "Oh, damn, you're old," and I have these kids in my fucking classroom. I'm not. I haven't graduated yet, so it's like, "What the fuck?" What? Anyway, to answer your question, I think the preparation, as you guys know, is really important, right? The external factors are important: the sleep, the hydration, the eating. I could get squat is my favorite lift. I could get away with being shitty, but for 800 pounds, bro. I remember I carb loaded. I made sure my sleep was good. I made sure to have a gallon and a half a few nights before, going up to the lift. I think practicing how you preach, obviously, instilling the external factors and focusing on yourself is really important. The mental preparation. I remember when I said I wanted 800 on my back, it was a whole week process of me thinking about it, having that mental imagery, right? Having the, what do you call it? Affirmations that I'm strong, right? Prior to it. It was a whole week process and it felt really fucking good. And I think just instilling that to your clients with whatever weight you hit, I don't care if it's 800 pounds or 405 pounds. I don't care if it's a 405 bench or like a 135 bench, or it's the same exact concept that everyone has to follow when it comes down to just mental preparations and being smart about your training. It is nerve-wracking. We've been there. We've been there where it's like an impossible weight that you've never known to hit, and you still put it on your fucking back or put it in your hands. Come on, bro. That is such a big deal to us, and it felt really good to kind of feel, hey, I know what I'm doing. I'm here to put in the work. Let's fucking do this. The day comes, dude. That's all I'm thinking about, and I run shop, so I love that. That's probably the best thing that I would tell people is that the pre-lift stuff is really important. Most important, I think, in my opinion.
And so, like, so you knew that going into it. So, for your coach, Dave Osborne, correct? That's what you said. Does he go off of more like percentage based, or is he more like RPE based?
So what's really cool about our programming, to answer your question, dude, I just keep talking, huh? Anyway, it's a combination of both. Yeah, that's what I like about coaching in general and how we do it. All three of us, it's a combination of all aspects, right? It is percent based. It is also DP or undulating based, and it's also RP auto regulation. It's all of them combined. So for compound lifts, so what we're doing for my squat is okay, cool. Let's start you from a base level. Let's go a 3x3 at something RP 6. Right? Or let's do a set range of weight that I want. Total reps at a total weight at this range, at this RP that I want. Okay, cool. Let's do it. For example, my squat, past 3 weeks have been like a 3x3 at 585, 3x2 at 606. And now this week I have a 3x2 at 622. End goal is RP 7. So what's happening is that we're understanding we're still increasing volume and reps, right? Or we're going to be increasing the weight, each weight, regardless for progressive overload. But you have a target cap that I want you to hit. So all these factors, right, in training, right, subjective measures, objective measures, we have a minimum that we want to hit, and we need to hit the minimum at least to progress goals, right? Off-season work is about work capacity. So how many times can I hit the same amount of reps with the same amount of weight, with the same amount of sets at this RPE? That's the goal for off-season always, right? For anyone. When it comes down to in-season stuff, that's when the auto-regulation comes, so top set back down work, where it becomes, okay, Keith, I need you to do a 2x2 here. Why? Okay, at this 2x2, I want the first one to be 584, and the next one can be something. Because the cool part about that is, again, we're still having that 2 set right range, with a total of 4 reps in total at a certain RPE with a base minimum of this one. So if you feel like shit one day, cool, do that weight. But if you feel really good, which I always do on squats, always go up, then I would add the weight, right? So last prep cycle, I didn't even do like top sets. It was like, all right, Keith, I need you to do a top double or a 2x2 at 705, and let's see what happens. Okay, cool. The next set, I went to like 771 because I was around the same RP or even better. It's one of those things where it's like, one, it's a collaboration of coach and client, right? Hey, Dave, I'm really good at top set back down work. Obviously, everyone is, but she's like, okay, cool, but I want your work capacity to be a little bit better. Can you do 2 big fucking top sets for me? Yes, sir. And I hit it. When it comes down to my deadlift right now, it's going to be more technical, so it is a little bit linear. Like 4x3, I think, that I have right now. But it's the same concept applies. Can you hold your hook for 2 or 3 sets, top set work, and then we do back down? So I'm like, yes, and that's what I have to train for. Last thing for bench press is going to be, I would say the same thing, but I tend to do more of a what do you call it? Ascending sets for bench right now, because I want to keep pushing the agenda per week, base minimum and then a maximum of that week, to be like, okay, cool. It'd be really cool to hit, for example, if it's like 3x3 at 331. First set was 331, second rep is 346, and then next is going to be like 363 if I really feel good, or just retake it. So how our programming works in undulation was it not daily, not DUP, just undulating periodization, is understanding that each week we still want to hit whatever we hit last week at a rep or set, because that is still linear progression. It is still progressive overload, and you're not beating yourself up. You just now know how to hold the weight in your hand to expect it. Just do it for another rep or set.
Gotcha. That's really interesting, and that's one of the things that I really enjoyed about what you just said, is that it's it's a collaboration between athlete and coach. Sometimes, especially when it comes to certain athletes, it definitely is not so much of a collaboration. It's just like, hey, go do this. But at the same time, it's like, as they get to a certain level, it definitely does push into more of a collaboration, right? Do you agree?
Oh yeah, yeah. Like, you're beginner lifters. Like, it's just do what I say. Do what I say. Don't cheat on me. Just do what I say.
Just don't cheat on me.
You know what's funny too? It's that bell curve too, though. It's like, and then when you start getting advanced, do what I say. I sir. It's pretty cool.
Yeah,
that's true. That's true.
But and as a lifter gets more advanced and elite, it does become more of a collaboration, because you trust that lifter to know, like, okay, you know how to regulate yourself and to go and like, okay, like, I had a shitty night's sleep, so I'm not going to push as hard. I'm going to back off a little bit. And like, you talk to your coach and be like, hey, like, this is what happened. This is what's going on. Or you're like, hey, I'm feeling really good. Can we bump it up a little bit? And that's that trust that you've built with somebody who's done it, been there, and they're going to come time, they're going to push and they're going to go hard. Mm-hmm. That's that trust that you build over time with the client that, does their shit.
That's a really good point, Andrew. That's a really good fucking point.
That's a really good point. I think collaboration.
What's
What's up?
Just have a moment of silence and just give appreciation one.
It's just.
I appreciate it. Anyway,
we appreciate you.
So
totally.
No. So when I want to know about your preparation for like a top set or your big lift, what kind of is going through your head? What gets you amped up? Do you have a certain song that you play? Do you like to get abused? I mean, what is your routine for a big lift?
My routine for a good lift. I'm very big on, like, I want to say overstimulation, but high stim. I like a very loud environment. I love my headphones blasting. I'm really good, and I focus more. I don't know how to explain it. Like when I study and I need to focus, I blast music. You know what I'm saying? So, and headphones, I'm really big on just get the high stim going in your head. You should be good to go. And I focus way more. Warm up wise, I still get the same. I mean, for squat, it's just reds all the way up. But pre squat, pre bar, I do obviously like punctual, right? I like being punctual on my warm ups. I like to be punctual and fundamental on my stretching routine, right? Obviously, my pre exercise like dynamic warm ups and stuff like that. I have a checklist that I go through every session I do is the same exact warm up. I mean, I'm doing my frequency does squat and bench or deadlift bench every single day. So, fuck it, like do the same exact, like pre-exercise, and that kind of gets me in the zone really well. Just depends on where I'm at with, hydration, eating's really good, blah blah blah. But to get me hyped up, I really like to be focused with a lot of music, and each rep doesn't have to feel the same. I just know for a fact it's going to be the same. So whatever happens, like even if I have a really shitty last warm, I'm like, okay, let's execute. So to answer your question, I really like to, I want to say certain song, but high stim songs, right? I've been listening to a lot of hardcore lately because of Alex. Shout out Alex. Also one of the hosts of 10 Minutes podcast with me. Anyway, now we'll get back later. But I really started getting into hardcore. I started getting into like EDM stuff, like really heavy EDM, just to kind of put that stimulus right into that head. Where when it comes to that top set, it's the same stimulus. It doesn't matter from bar all the way up. When it comes down to like intra, I don't really do a lot of intra. I don't like feeling full. It's just never been my thing. I don't like intra sugars. It never worked for me. Also leverages for deadlifts, since I fucking suck at deadlifts right now, or in general. Like I have to like be a little bit skinnier. Other stuff, I think it's just more just. Oh, I do watch my videos. This sounds so bad. Like when I do more squat, when I have a really heavy squat, I watch my videos of when I executed really well. It just gives me more of a mental imagery. It gives me more of like confidence, right? Like I've hit this before, or like, hey, this is what it moved like last week. Fucking make it better. I know a lot of people don't really do that, or it's kind of like taboo. But I like doing that because I know I'm punctual, right? I know I'm confident. I just need to tell myself I'm confident, A lot of the stuff when it comes down to like just mental imagery, I don't do like the whole thing where like, oh, I know I executed. I just know. I walk in there like I know I'm going to hit this. Like I don't need that mental imagery. I know I will hit it. Other than my 800-pound squat, I needed that. I definitely needed mental imagery to do that. It's a big number. But every session, dude, I'm in there. Like I'm in there. I'm ready to go. I'm fired up. I love training. Like I get really angsty, and I get really, really, like anxious when I don't lift. Like I get jittery. I'm like, fuck, I need to lift today. Fuck, I need to lift. Like I don't. If I time myself, and I can't do it in the morning. I'm like, okay, I know I'm going to do it at night. That it still kind of gives me that, But I really just love to lift. I just want to get in there. So once I'm in there, I'm fucking ready to go. I don't. It's not a, the preparation's already done. Let's fucking do it, So, if that answers the question.
Yeah, it's perfect. I had this idea before, and I was wondering if you wanted to get in on an investment opportunity. It's a special lifting tool especially for squats. Would you like to invest in our company of the Butt Binky?
Okay. Give me an elevator pitch. I would like to hear. I'm Steve Jobs. I'm in the elevator. I'm like, holy shit, dude. I need my squat together. And you two motherfuckers walk in, trap me in there, and handcuff me. Tell me.
No, elevator pitch. All right. You need to stay tight in the bottom of the squat. You need that extra little push.
Right.
Butt Binky. In there gives you that extra tightness to stay in the hole and come out with all the power and force.
Exactly that. And
if you lose it, that's on you.
How is it that we can combine two worlds of pleasure and focus together, complementary, much like a marriage, correct?
Right.
So what you're going to want to do is invest in the Butt Binky. Now, the Butt Binky in itself is versatile. It is one of those things where you can insert into yourself, perform a lift, and reach a level of climax you've never fucking felt before.
You know what's funny?
Yeah.
I'm already used to it. I mean, I was saying Gabby pegs my shit. No, Imagine. Oh my god. We actually had a senior anniversary yesterday, so that was really, really fun. It was cool.
Happy
But no,
anniversary.
no butt stuff. I'm good. She kept licking my butt. I'm like, you're not fucking. We're not doing this. I almost got in a Camaro. I was like, I fucking pulled guard and fucking. Oh my god. I was like, I can't do this. You know what? For you guys, I'll test it though. I'll test it. You guys give me the abstract. You guys give me the whole thing. We'll start experimenting on Monday.
We have several models. We have like our base model, you know, it's just a regular butt beaky, and then we have our expert level that adds extra shock and pleasure for you.
It's about the size of a fist, so you're gonna have to.
Yeah, you gotta work it.
Fist? That ain't shit to me, dog. Just kidding. That's awesome. That's so funny.
Right, so I do know that you.
What's up? Sorry.
No, I do know that you do have a very tight schedule, so I want to make sure that we're good on time.
Good. We're chill. I'm good on time, bro. I'm good. I'm here for you guys.
All right, so that I wanted to kind of bring in one just into our segment. So we kind of go into two different types of segments. One, which is our myth busters. We're gonna myth bust all over your face, and then
Fuck yeah.
Our second is getting peeved the fuck up. Now, mind you. I want to leave the floor to you. Do you have any type of gym myths or any type of peeves that you want to get off of your chest and onto our faces?
I think this is where you're teasing my balls right now. So I think that the biggest thing, right? The biggest thing, and I go to the gym right now. I'm not going to say the name. That's done a lot for me and my people, and I love it. The owner gave us a powerlifting room in 1 week, like a full turnaround 1 week. We have 3 combos. We have a bunch of kilos that me and Chris could do work and other people can, like a lot of kilos. Platforms, everything, bars. And we all have personal bars. But this gym doesn't really, I want to say cater. It's a lot more like bodybuilding / like kids, you know? And like just people who don't understand culture and sport. So what really grinds my fucking gears is some fuck ass go to our goddamn room, start squatting with a deadlift bar on the fucking bench J hooks. Like it doesn't hit depth, some fuck shit. And like some kid comes in, deadlifts, doesn't lock shit out, calls it a PR, straps and hits the fuck out of it, doesn't even lock out. I have people like fucking, it just fucking pisses me off, man. Like this, the biggest gym peeve I have is not knowing the culture, not understanding your fucking place. Like, know your fucking place, dude. Like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, there's no way that you just don't understand the education or just learning how to be fucking cool, man. You know, I don't explain it. It's powerlifting is very big in my heart. The culture I could teach anyone, but if you're straight up ignorant, dude, go fuck yourself, dude. Like, I don't know how to explain. Like I don't know. I've like. Go taste the shotgun real quick, you know? But I'm just kidding. But it's just like one of those things where it's like, God damn it, dude. Like, just understand the culture, understand the whys, understand what different bars are. I can't do all the homework for you. You got to do it on your own sometimes. But damn, when you come into someone's space or, you know, obviously, you know, we're coming into their space now, right? If you don't know how to use equipment, ask. If you want to know why we do stuff, ask. If I go to throwing, for example, right? I'm throwing now, obviously. I'm not going to try and invade the space. I'm not going to try to know like I know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? I would pre-educate. I would ask. I would experiment, and I will understand the culture of the sport, how to be part of the culture, right? That's probably the biggest peeve that I have. Biggest peeve. Be part of the culture. If not, go fuck yourself. But yeah,
it's the truth. But most of the time, it's that like that ignorance comes from the lack of. Also, too, it comes from a lack of caring. I've noticed that there's a lot of people that just kind of be like, "Well, it's a barbell. What does it matter?" You're like, "No, dude. There's a difference. There's a big fucking difference." Like, there was one guy that I saw at the gym that was like he was doing he was doing deadlifts out of the squat rack. You know, those red squat racks on the side of the building. And I was like, I was looking at him, watching him do deadlifts, and I just like look around, and there's like 4 open deadlift platforms, and I was just like, "Oh, I'm not even gonna touch that." I just like walked away. I was like, "I'm gonna fuck with that."
That's easy, bro. That's an easy thing for me. The other stuff, though, Man, there's sometimes, like, it just baffles me where it's like, drop your ego for a split second and educate yourself, and
Or
you'll be
ask
okay.
somebody.
Just ask. Let's ask.
And I do know that there's also too. It's like, I mean, shit, dude. At the the gym you're talking about is TG Vista, and
I didn't want to say you said it, not me, man.
it's a really good gym though. It's like the fact that they were able to actually give you that space and give you the that speaks volumes on the person that runs that gym.
Yeah, and I gotta give a shout out to those two. Obviously, this is your lives, or you post it. No, I really appreciate Todd and Rachel. Those are the two owners of the gym. There's a third one. I don't know them, but no, the 1 week. Keith, what do you need in this fucking gym? You're gonna bring a lot of people over from Ironmongers. What do you need? Bing bang bop. 1 week. Clear that bitch out in 1 day. Put all this shit. Called it a day. It was a very beautiful feeling of feeling heard. If that makes any sense. It really helped. It helped.
That's fucking awesome. And then, but then obviously too, you have these broccoli-headed motherfuckers that come in and just absolutely disrespect all that fucking hard work. And
It just sometimes it's just like pity, more pity.
yeah, it's a shame. So with that being said, do you have anything else?
I think that's it.
I think we're good. All right, brother.
Oh, yeah.
Before we go ahead and plug everything that you're doing. Go ahead and plug anything that you want to plug, anything that you want to do.
Yeah. First of all, I want to say thank you guys. That was really, really fun. About time that we get on this. I would love to do this again. We'll get you guys on our podcast pretty soon. Like, I like this. I never used this before, but I think this would be the next thing. That'd be really cool. I'm gonna use this for the next one for you guys. Just for you guys because I want to see you guys' faces like this. This is fucking sick. So thank you. What are we doing? Oh, okay. So my Instagram at Valeros PL_BSS. You already know who it is. Come on. You already know who it is. I wanted to give a shout out to CSU Sun Powerlifting. Thank you so much on allowing me to be your assistant coach for the past 3 years. I think. Yeah, 3 years. Holy shit. Shout out to my coaching for Strength Systems. Shout out to my podcast that I have with Alex, which is pretty sick. 10-minute podcast, which is a pretty good one. Shout out TG Vista, Rachel and Todd. Shout out. Fuck it, man. Anthony Brandon, dude. I don't know, man. Shout out Kelly. Shout out Brandon Rossetti. Shout out shout out to all of our friends in powerlifting, right? Come on, give a good shout out to you guys. I'm really excited to be on here again, whenever, and that'd be really cool. I have an idea for us. Maybe we could play Uno while we're doing this. That'd be really fun. I will be there in that chair behind you guys. We'll play Uno or something. That'd be really fun. I would love that. So
that's fucking sick. That'd be down.
Oh, yeah.
Well, with that being said, Keith, we love you, and
love you.
That's fucking it on our end. You take it easy.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Do I leave? What do I do? Do I leave now or?